Okay, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bear Sheath Farm with your host, Levite Khan. And I'm just making sure it's going well enough here. Yeah. Alrighty then. Okay. I hope everyone that watched the earlier live stream enjoyed it. I hope you're sharing it. I hope you're subscribing to that other YouTube channel. I don't normally, it's not the first time I've done it. Welcome and shalom to Nicole CB. I've done it before where I played whole videos. I don't normally do that as a rule, generally, but I just do clips. But I thought that was worth it because I had watched it all myself before, earlier in the day when I had time. In that being said, I do recommend that you, like I said, subscribe to his channel and hit his, smash the notification bell. Hope you get more people to subscribe to my channel as well. Smash the notification bell. And welcome and shalom to Tax Hoss.
I wanted to make an announcement before you got started.
Okay, come on up and make it. You don't need a bellow. Just come on over here. I will shut off the camera here. Okay, my wife's coming over here to...
No, you don't need to shut off the camera. I'll be behind it.
Okay.
All right, people. You know how I know how to make...
Welcome and shalom to Gangster Talks podcast.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You know how I know how to make stuff for, like, poison ivy, bee stings, stuff like that. Also,
you do.
I made wild lettuce and stuff for painkiller infused with oils.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a dream today and I woke up.
Yep.
Okay, there's a rose out there that you can eat. It's called flavorlet roses. There's peared and there's apricotted.
Okay.
Well, they have a very strong rose smell. Okay. Well, what you do is tallow is a natural thing. Instead of smearing chemicals all over your body, tallow is a natural thing that comes from animals.
Mm-hmm.
All right, beef tallow.
Like fed grass-fed beef tallow, yeah.
Yeah. You can get pure 100% tallow, melt it down, infuse it with your, your rose petals and stuff like that, and then pour it into jars, and you'll get the minerals and the herbal extracts from these essential oils from these roses, and you'll get the tallow. You can use it for eczema. You can use it for it's not going to totally reverse, but it can help with damaged skin, help with wrinkles, cracked hands and feet, and stuff like that. And I'm going to start making some. Just letting you all know.
Okay. Is that it?
I'm into the herbal stuff, and I noticed when I got two of my dogs, Shadow, he was really bad off, and little Zayla, my little teeny one. They were both really sickly when I got them.
Yeah, Zayla, not Ayla.
And when I took care of them, their fur is more brighter, their eyes are brighter. I've taken care of ailments and stuff all naturally. And this must be a gift that Elohim has given me, because I've been learning all these things about perennial plants and stuff like that, and now oils and things.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to see if I can start making this soon. And if anybody might be able to be blessed with some, I can try to send some to you whenever I get it started. This is also moisturizing body wash, moisturizing shampoo for your hair, laundry detergent, so on, etc.
Yep.
Get away from the chemicals.
I think Nicole is following you real well.
Are you going to? The biggest organ in your body is your skin.
Well, we don't worry about kosher, Nicole. That we don't need any approval from rabbis and stuff.
Right.
We don't worry about that.
I don't give a crap about that. I know that it's pure.
Okay. All right. Thank you, my love. Okay, welcome and shalom to Wilfred Witzke and Craig Hayden. All right, let's finish up the Torah tonight. The internet, the weather's been good enough, and the internet's stuck with us. And I just had to do, before I got this going, I had to do an update, let it restart and all that. So we should be good. All right, let's start with Deuteronomy chapter 29. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, beside the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moses called unto all Israel and said unto them, Ye have seen all that the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt, unto Pharaoh, and unto all his servants, and unto all his land. The great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs, and those great miracles, yet the Lord hath not given you an heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear unto this day. And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes have not waxen old upon you, and thy shoes not waxen old upon thy foot. Okay, before I continue on, you look at verse 4, you can kind of relate that. Where Isaiah said that about ears not hearing and eyes but you're not seeing, and then Yeshua related to the Israelites and definitely nations surrounding them. They could see but not believe, hear but not, and they have ears but they don't hear. Anyway, and this is pretty significant too, to have clothes for 4 decades and they never wore out. Now that's never happened to me. But anyway, verse 6. Ye have not eaten bread, neither have ye drunk wine or strong drink, that ye might know that I am the Lord thy God. And when ye came unto this place, Sihon the king of Heshbon and Og the king of Bashan came out against us unto battle, and we smote them. And we took their land and gave it for an inheritance unto the Reubenites and to the Gadites and to the half tribe of Manasseh. Keep therefore the words of this covenant and do them, that ye may prosper in all that ye do. You stand this day, all of you, before the Lord your God, your captains of your tribes, your elders and your officers, with all the men of Israel, your little ones, your wives, and thy stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of thy wood unto the drawer of thy water, that thou shouldest enter into covenant with the Lord thy God, and into his oath, which the Lord thy God maketh with thee this day, that he may establish thee today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee a God, as he hath said unto thee, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him that standeth here with us this day before the Lord your God, our God, and also with him that is not here with us this day. For ye know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nations which ye passed by. And ye have seen their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. Lest there should be among you man or woman or family or tribe, whose heart turneth away this day from the Lord our God, to go and serve the gods of these nations. Lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood. And it came to pass, when he heareth the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of mine heart, to add drunkenness to thirst. The Lord will not spare him, but then the anger of the Lord and his jealousy shall smote against that man, and all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him, and the Lord shall blot out his name from under heaven. Okay, before I continue on to verse 21, you look at that. This kind of goes against once saved, always saved, I think. Your name was in there and it gets blotted out. I mean, whomever's name. There had to be something in there, a name to blot out. But anyway, so. Verse 21, and the Lord shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law, so that the generation to come of your children that shall rise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land shall say, when they see the plagues of that land and the sicknesses which the Lord hath laid upon it, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that it is not sown, nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Even all nations shall say, wherefore hath the Lord done thus unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? The men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. For they went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. Oh. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. The secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. And that's all 29 verses of Deuteronomy chapter 29. Okay, I'm looking at the chat before I continue on. Test everything. That reminds me too of 119 Ministries. Test everything. I do like their channel for the most part. I do have disagreements, but they're pretty good. They have pretty decent doctrine, and they do say test everything. Everything looks like normal. You guys are having a good dialogue in the chat, so we'll continue on with Deuteronomy chapter 30. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee, and shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul. That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. If any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thine heart. Again, here comes the heart, ladies and gentlemen. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed, to love the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I command thee this day. And the Lord thy God will make thee plenteous in every work of thine hand, and the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy land, for good. For the Lord will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over thy fathers. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in this book of the law, and if thou turn unto the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul, for this commandment which I command thee this day. Okay, before I go on to verse 11, this is another. Let me check to see what the dogs are going nuts about. Hey. Okay, there are 3 deer that are a couple hundred feet away. No wonder. Okay, anyway, back to starting with verse 11. Go ahead, Deb. Get the pictures. Before, maybe they're still there. They're on that property that's abandoned. As I was saying, though, starting with verse 11 of Deuteronomy 30, verses 11 through 16, I use this a lot in debates. The ones who say that you can't do anything without having Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, they're wrong. Yeah, no, you're not in salvation. Jesus has to be your Messiah. Okay, I want to make that clear. But to serve God, and yes, Yeshua was involved in all of this. I get that, but it wasn't his time yet to come down in the flesh and tabernacle with us. Do you understand? You know, I just want to make that clear. So, anyway. If one of our dogs get off the chains or something like that, though, that mother would go nuts. Verse 11. For this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it? Neither is it beyond the sea, that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it? For the word is very nigh, as in near. But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil, in that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. Remember, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 10 through 16 is very key, and it can be very key in many situations that you know, we can do this, folks. We can't do everything required. I understand that, but we can keep these commandments. That actually is possible. Verse 17. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shalt be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land whither thou passest over Jordan to go to possess it. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live, that thou mayest love the Lord thy God, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him. For he is thy life and the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. All right. All 20 verses of chapter 30 of Deuteronomy. All right, let's do this. Chapter 31. And Moses went and spake these words unto all Israel. And he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day. I can no more go out and come in. Also the Lord hath said unto me, thou shalt not go over this Jordan. The Lord thy God, he will go over before thee, and he will destroy these nations from before thee, and thou shalt possess them. In Joshua, he shall go over before thee, as the Lord hath said. And the Lord shall do unto them as he did to Sihon and to Og, kings of the Amorites, and unto the land of them whom he destroyed. And the Lord shall give them up before your face, that ye may do unto them according unto all the commandments which I have commanded you. Be strong and of a good courage, fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. And Moses called unto Joshua, and said unto him, in the sight of all Israel, be strong and of a good courage, for thou must go with this people unto the land which the Lord hath sworn unto their fathers to give them, and thou shalt cause them to inherit it. And the Lord, he it is that doth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. And Moses wrote this law, and delivered it unto the priests, the sons of Levi, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and unto all the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, in the Feast of Tabernacles, when all Israel is come to appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, thou shalt read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women and children, and thy stranger, see again, the stranger is included, folks, thy stranger that is within thy gates, that they may hear and that they may learn and fear the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of this law, and that their children which have not known anything may hear and learn to fear the Lord your God, as long as ye live in the land whither ye go over Jordan to possess it. And the Lord said unto Moses, behold, thy days approach, that you must die. Call Joshua and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may give him a charge. And Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord said unto Moses, behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be among them, and will forsake me and break my covenant which I made with them. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us, because our God is not among us? And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they shall have wrought, in that they are turned unto other gods. Now therefore write ye this song for you, and teach it to the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. For when I shall have, excuse me, for when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten and filled themselves in waxen fat, then will they turn unto other gods and serve them, and provoke me and break my covenant. And it shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination, which they go about even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear. Moses therefore wrote this song the same day, and taught it the children of Israel. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge, and said, be strong and of a good courage, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I swear unto them, and I will be with thee. And it came to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book, until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, that it may be there for a witness against thee. For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, ye have been rebellious against the Lord, and how much more after my death? Gather unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them. For I know that after my death ye will utterly corrupt yourselves, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days, because ye will do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands. And Moses spake in the ears of all the congregation of Israel the words of this song, until they were ended. Give me a minute. That's all 30 verses of Deuteronomy chapter 31, and I hear thunder again. I may have to go get the dogs in suit. I don't know yet. So we'll try to keep this moving here. Okay. I don't want to just rush through it, but I want to keep it going consistently. Darn it. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 32. And I think we have 52 chapters in this, or 52 verses in this one. All right. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of the Lord. Ascribe ye greatness unto our God. He is the rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment. A God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is he. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are a perverse and crooked generation. Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath bought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee thy elders, and they will tell thee, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is a lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye. Yes, we Israelites are the apple of his eye, ladies and gentlemen. Verse 11. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. So the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields, and he made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock, butter of kine, and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats, and with the fat of kidneys of wheat, and thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. Oh, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. I will heap mischiefs upon them. I will spend mine arrows upon them. They shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat. And with bitter destruction I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray hairs. I said I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among them. Were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, unless they should say, our hand is high, and the Lord hath done all this. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. How should one chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them, and the Lord had shut them up? For the rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall, their clusters are bitter, their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of asps. Is not this laid up in store with me, and sealed up among my treasures? To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time. For the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. For the Lord shall judge his people, and repent himself for his servants, when he seeth that their power is gone, and there is none shut up or left. And he shall say, where are their gods, their rock in whom they trusted, which did eat the fat of their sacrifices, and drank the wine of their drink offerings? Let them rise up and help you, and be your protection. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven, and say, I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword in mine hand, take hold on judgment. I will render vengeance to mine enemies, and will reward them that hate me. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the plain and of the captives from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. And Moses came and spake all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Hoshea the son of Nun. And Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel, and he said unto them, set your hearts unto all the words which I testify among you this day, which ye shall command your children to observe to do all the words of this law. For it is not of any thing for you, because it is your life, and through this thing ye shall prolong your days in the land, whither ye go over Jordan to possess it. And the Lord spake unto Moses that selfsame day, saying, get thee up into this mountain Abiram, unto Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho, and behold, the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for a possession, and die in the mount whither thou goest up, and be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people. Because ye trespassed against me among the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin, because ye sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. Yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither unto the land which I give the children of Israel. It's all 52 verses of Deuteronomy chapter 32. Let me take a look here. There is one Catholic Bible I do recommend that people can read that's pretty good. It's the Dewey Reams. I've read it. It's very similar to the King James. I think they published it a year before. The Authorized Version Scholars did theirs in 1611. I think they did both as far as Old and New Testaments by 1610, if I'm right on that. Okay. Anyway. All right, let's keep it moving here. Chapter 33 of Deuteronomy. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, the Lord came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints. From his right hand went a fiery law for them. Yea, he loved the people. All the saints are in thy hand, and they sat down at thy feet. Every one shall receive of thy words. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. And he was king in Jeshurun, when the heads of the people and the tribes of Israel were gathered together. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou an help to him from his enemies. And of Levi he said, Let thy Thummim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massah, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah, who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children, for they observed thy word. For they have observed thy word and kept thy covenant. They shall teach Jacob thy judgments and Israel thy law. They shall put incense before thee and whole burnt sacrifice upon thine altar. Bless, Lord, his substance and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise up. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again. And of Benjamin he said, The beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him, and the Lord shall cover him all the day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders. And of Joseph he said, Blessed of the Lord be his land, for the precious things of heaven, for the dew, and for the deep that coucheth beneath, and for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun, and for the precious things put forth by the moon, and for the chief things of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things of the lasting hills, and for the precious things of the earth and fullness thereof, and for the good will of him that dwelt in the bush. Let the blessing come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. And they are the 10,000 of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents. They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas, and of treasures hid in the sand. And of Gad he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad, he dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arm with the crown of the head. And he provided the first part for himself, because there in a portion of the lawgiver was he seated. And he came with the heads of the people. He executed the justice of the Lord, and his judgments with Israel. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp, he shall leap from Bashan. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor and full with the blessing of the Lord, possess thou the west and the south. And of Asher he said, Let Asher be blessed with children, let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. Thy shoes shall be iron and brass, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. There is none like unto the God of Jeshurun, who rideth upon the heaven in thy help, and in his excellency on the sky. The external God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms, and he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall and shall say, Destroy them. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heavens shall drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. And that's all 29 verses of Deuteronomy chapter 33. All right, I'm checking out the side chat here. Okay, you guys still talking about tallow. I think I can quick do this chapter, finish it. It's only 12 verses, and then I better bring the dogs in. It might be raining now. I don't care if they get a few drops on them. They're farm dogs, but I don't want them soaked to the bone either. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 34. And Moses went up from the plains of Moab unto the mountain of Nebo, to the top of Pisgah that is over against Jericho, and the Lord showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan, and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim, and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah, unto the utmost sea, and the south, and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, unto Zoar. And the Lord said unto him, This is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thy seed. I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over thither. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. And he buried them, and he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, over against Beth Peor, but no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this day. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eye was not dim, nor his natural face, nor his natural force abated. And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were ended. And Joshua, the son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him. And the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as the Lord commanded Moses. And there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. Before going from verse 10, just keep in mind that's not literal. Moshe could not look at Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh's face. Blessed be his name. Okay, that's figurative. He may have seen Yeshua. I don't know. All that's a lot of controversy that I don't want to get into here tonight. Verse 11, and all the signs and the wonders which the Lord sent him to do in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh, and to all his servants, and to all his land, and in all that mighty hand, and in all the great terror which Moses shewed in the sight of all Israel. Thus ends the reading. Chapter 34, Deuteronomy, all the Torah we have read. Next time I read, we'll be starting the book of Joshua. When I say doing it in the Jewish order, Joshua and Judges are in the same order, and then after that it changes. So let me check the weather here. Bring him in. Good boy. Go ahead, buddy. Good boy. No, it's raining. I'm getting the dogs in now. Okay. Go in, buddy. Good boy. Get hurt. Girl. Okay. Gonna leave our porch door open here to get some air in here, but it is raining out there, and Kakarot could avoid it to an extent. Goku really can't, so he's fairly wet. Ayla definitely can't.
So I guess nobody was interested. I never seen the number 1 in the side chat.
About what?
What I said earlier about if they would be interested in any of the herbal stuff.
Well,
that I create.
give people time, Deb. I got a small channel, and in that, and if God wills it, you'll be able to make a good business out of it.
No, I don't want to make a business. I want to help people.
Oh, you just want to help people.
Yes.
Well, if they wanted, they'll let you know, and we'll see what we can do. But that'll be That won't be by tomorrow, that's for sure. All right. Well, text put in a 4 for you. Anyway, okay, it's been a good day. I mean, hopefully the internet won't cut off. There's been some lightning coming too and that. So at least I got, at least I read the rest of the scroll, or Megillah, as we say, of Devarim and that. So I still continue to do research. I am going over on BitChute. I'm going over that documentary again that Wilford gave me way back. And I'm writing down a lot of the quotes, and I'll be checking them later, and that's taking me a while. The research is harder for me to do. With the internet, you have to be careful. And I'd like to be near a personal, like an old used bookstore and flea market and a library. I mean, I can get to those places, but it's a lot harder for me because I don't have a vehicle right now. I don't know if I'll ever have one again, to be honest. But point is, it's rough. And anyway, I've been looking at some other stuff too. It's just common sense, I guess, as well. I mean, I do eventually, because against the my Jewish counterparts, the ultra-Orthodox Jews, especially the Zionists. I mean, I love my fellow Jew and Jewish counterpart. Don't get me wrong. They're ignorant, just like on a Sunday, just like a lot of Sunday Christians are, that are pew warmers, and don't do their, they don't study to show themselves approved. Okay. So in a way, they're kind of being willingly ignorant. But that being said, folks, we, when I look at these things, I don't really know how to give you advice on how to deal with it all anyway. We can obviously read our Bibles, we pray, we get together as best we can face to face, and those of us who can't, maybe get together on private Zooms, whatever, on the phone, etc. But stuff like that. You can use technology for the good. I try to, and I despise techno. I hate it, but it's just one of the ways that you can't really work around. But I mean, I've come to accept it, and I never was a MAGA Republican. I'm going to do some things on Dr. Fauci. I was just reminded, and I know I brought some things up about him and beagle dogs. And there's so much more where my memory was refreshed earlier today in between my chores and just doing normal stuff on the homestead. Oh man, I'll tell you what, Dr. Mengele, the angel, Dr. Angel of Death, with World War II in Germany, Dr. Ishii of Japan of World War II, just like him. I don't know if they knew of each other, but he was just as bad. I'll tell you what, that Fauci, he's the angel of death, all right. I mean, he makes Ishii and Mengele almost look like amateurs. Now, I think Mengele and Ishii were just as bad. But Mengele had to go on the run after Germany was losing the war. He was on the run, and he died at 61 to 62 years old because he had another stroke when he was swimming. He was kind of an athletic guy, and he was in a lake, and he swam, and he had a stroke, and that made him drown. So he didn't have from what I know, he wasn't doing anything evil when he was on the run. He kept a low profile, and he kept moving. So the Nazi searchers or whatever, hunters couldn't find him. And after he died a few years later, they dug up his bones. Hold on. Yeah, Dr. Joseph Mengele. Uh-oh. Am I still on? Maybe I got... Okay. That was close. That was close, Deb. He was 67 years old. Okay. And he died in 1979. So he had been on the run from 1940. I think he ran around 1945. He was on the run for approximately almost 34 years. Now, as far as, so, and I could look up Dr. Ishii. To make sure he's not as well known. Dr. Ishii of Japan, World War II. He might have been around a little bit longer and been able to do more crap. Yeah, Shiro Ishii or Shiro Ishii, however they say it in Japanese. I don't. There he is. He died in 1959. I don't think he ever was wanted or something. They let him go and he stayed in Japan. Yeah, he died in Tokyo. He was 67. Same age. He died basically at just a different year. So he must have been older. He was quite a bit older than Mengele was. Point is, folks, the only reason why I would say, and I'm not at all, Dr. Tony Anthony Fauci he's just as evil, and he's 85 years old. And I'm going to get into some of that where, I mean, you look at Operation Paperclip and stuff and how we took in some of the Nazi scientists / doctors and I took some of their ideas. We got some of them off the hook. And they lived very cushy, comfortable, scientific, lives in America. They had families, became Americans. Whether that was right or not, I tend to think not. Okay, well, take care to Craig Hayden, I guess. All right. But that being said, Fauci's had his hands and ruined other brilliant doctors' lives. Probably doctors that were more brilliant than him up here, but they didn't have the connections or they didn't have the want of power that he has always had. And they took the Hippocratic Oath more seriously. Welcome and shalom to Carolyn Gannon. Glad you made it. Anyway, that being said, but he said, he's had a lot more life. Let's see, 67 to 80. Okay, that's 18 years. He's already had 18 more years in life than what both Mengele and Ishii had. And he's had more time to commit evil acts. I mean, he's a mass psychopathic murderer. And he's been enabled in it. And he's still walking free, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not at all unrealistic about what's going on. I understand politics better than most. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you the way it is. I know how they think. And I've been with the big fish in tiny little ponds. They're the same way, just on a smaller scale. I think they think a lot of the way that the bigger wiggers do. They're just more interested, or for whatever reason they cannot, and some of them even just will not go past their city or their county, or in some cases that state. That being said, to plead the fifth 111 times, and now they're jacking around, and I'm not putting down Senator Paul Rand, I think it is, of Kentucky, isn't it? Am I right on that? Who knows if Mitch McConnell is dead or not? I mean, but because he's a medical doctor too. Yeah, Rand Paul. I said it back. I got dyslexic and said it backwards. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky is also a medical doctor, just like his father. And when he confronted Dr. Fauci how many years ago, yeah, I mean, his dad, too. I mean, it's in the family line of the Rands, you know, like Ron Paul. He's a doctor. He's still alive, last I knew. And back when Fauci was just so innocent, supposedly you're not questioning me, you're questioning the science and all that crap. You know, I always talk, you know, I should go back into the medical field, or I should go be an attorney like my uncle, or I have the ability for it even at my old age. I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't know how I'd do it without a vehicle. I mean, you got to go meet sometime because I could do enough classes online, but you know, and when Fauci got all indignant, Senator Rand, you do not know what you are talking about. And now it's just so right out there. This is a man who took the Hippocratic Oath and gave us the middle finger, and he's done it for decades. He has ruined other doctors' lives. He is all the way from AIDS and on. And I want to do something on Fauci, because we know he's not going to a jail cell at, you know, anytime soon, if ever. You know, Trump does not have the motivation. He doesn't have the sack. He doesn't have this righteousness. He definitely doesn't have the balls to sit there, you know, like say if he was to order the FBI, the DOJ and the FBI to arrest Fauci and people like him. If a judge was to, you know, like say a Jeb Boasberg was to get in the way and say, you can't do that, well, have the judge arrested. During the Biden-Harris administration, they had no problem with Attorney General Merrick Brian Garland do. He just, you know, they were breaking into people's homes at 5, 6 in the morning who supported Trump 1.0, and they didn't care about anything. You know, they were censoring our speech. I got in YouTube jail 3, 4 times, I think. I don't know. A couple times I got YouTube jail for a week back when I was doing videos years ago. And I wasn't even talking. Well, I did. I mentioned things. But one time I got put in jail, YouTube jail for 2 weeks, if I remember correctly. And I was in jeopardy of losing this channel. But I'm just to the point where I'm just not giving it much of a shit anymore. I'm up to 540 subbers, and I'm grateful to those of you who have subbed and that watch my stuff. I really am. It's just I'd like to get this out more before either they take me off or before I decide enough is enough. If I feel a spirit leading me to stop. And I want to do something on Fauci and a few others, because we're on our own, folks. You know, even Trump in that debate when it was a coup against Biden, you know. Well, I want to take care of people. Trump doesn't give a shit about us. He don't want to take care of anybody. But yeah. Point is, you know, I don't really have a lot. It just, I'm sick. We need to put out the word on these people. Obviously, the Trump 2.0 administration is not going to get anything done that needs to be. I haven't even been watching Stephen Gardner lately. And I think he has a good channel. Don't get me wrong. I recommend that you sub him. Smash the notification bell. But more arrests. And then there are names you never heard of. You know, I'd like to hear Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota, Governor Gavin Newsom of California. But, you know, we're not going to hear that. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that Trump is friends with those guys. I don't really believe all of that. He's friends with some Democrats. I don't doubt that. He used to be a Democrat. But I don't But at the same time, there's a system going on out there, and it's up to us. And folks, we have the Lord on our side. We have the Father and the Son, Jesus Christ, and we have the Holy Spirit leading us. I don't need Trump. I don't need Vance. Okay, I don't need Pete Hegseth and Mark Rubio and those people. Another thing about Rubio too, I think isn't Rubio one to have gone to Bohemian Grove before, if I'm right. I'd have to look that up. Pretty sure I saw something. I didn't look into it, but he was being confronted by somebody. From what I saw, the title of the video, being confronted on that about Bohemian Grove. But we need to put this stuff out, and that's why I ask you. I don't care about making a cent on YouTube. I'll take the money, sure. I've never made a cent off of YouTube yet. As far as their money deal, I've never made it. And if I never do, I'm fine. But I do. I ask you people to put this stuff out here and share it and recommend people to watch and to sub. I want this stuff out. I want people to wake up. I want them to get Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. I want them to learn what Jesus wants them to do for his Father through him, the protocol. That's all. I want souls to be saved. I want more harmony and obedience and just, I want the best for everybody that's willing. Okay. That's all I want. If I make money on it, fine. I'm worthy of my hire. If I don't, fine. Then I'll get blessed in some other way. I'm cool with that. But more than anything, I'm kind of like Paul said he would give up. I don't know if I'm willing to go as far as Paul wrote. He'd give up his salvation for all his fellow Jews or something like. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know. I'm not really willing to give up my salvation, but no, I think you might be hearing the thunder in the background. I think that's what you're hearing. Oh, you're talking that. Yeah, notifications maybe from either YouTube or Facebook. I think Deva's right on that text. But I'm going to do some things on some of those guys. I really want to focus for a little bit on Fauci. And you have to put him in the same class and league with people like Mengele and Ishii. And he's had a lot longer to do it. And he's had validation from this government primarily and others that are in cahoots. And because Deb and I too, even as homesteaders, we're trying to change our diets and stuff even more so now and get away from we're not doing this anyway. But it's getting worse. Bill Gates is doing his thing, getting his way with foods, in the grocery stores, and we're having to watch very closely what we buy. Like when we went grocery shopping yesterday, contrary to what Slick Willie had to say, William Henry Gates III, I went ahead and got this really long, thick, cylindrical slab or tube of ground beef, red meat. Tastes real good too. Yeah, I'm kind of liking it. Just saying though. So, and they're doing a lot of things, and it's slowly killing us, and it's changing our thinking. It's warping people's minds, folks. I don't know. We don't understand these. I understand what they're doing. I even understand the why. I think. What I don't understand any more than anybody else in this side chat, to my knowledge anyway, is why they are the way they are, because I'm not a psychopath. I'm not demonically led. I care for, and I love and care for people. So, yeah. But we need to be made aware of them. And when I bring up Fauci here, and do some things on him, other people will be brought up too. And the reason why I say that is because he's had a lot of people in cahoots with him, other doctors, scientists, whatever. Oh, hey, Mike, how you doing? Welcome and shalom to Mike. Mike's Isha. We have some biddies, chicken biddies in the back in our tote in the kitchen. Yeah, that's what you're hearing there. Oh, Ashley. Yeah, okay. I think I've seen you on here before, right? Am I right about that, Ashley? Oh, wait a minute. You're the wife of Monster Mike, aren't you? Ah, ha, ha, ha. Well, you know what? Your hubby is, your hubby's a moderator. Okay, I just made you a moderator with your hubby there. I hope he's doing well. I don't know if he's just sitting there listening or if he's gone working or what. I haven't heard from. I've been meaning to give your hubby a call. Yeah, tell him to call me too. But that being said, folks, I'm not. We're trying to get the info out to people. Do with it what you will, and for that matter, what you are capable of doing in your situation. Which just doing what you can. Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Wilfred made a request.
That's cool. Wilfred did? Whiskey? More of the genealogy of Joseph of Arimathea, who he was and how he made his wealth and how he ended paying the Romans for the body of Christ. Well, I can try to look into it. Guys, I have a lot of knowledge, but I'll tell you what, sometimes I need your help. You all specialize in your own area. And I have a lot of things I do around here too. I want to maybe look into that later, Wilfred, but right now I'm going to continue to focus on my Jewish counterparts and Dr. Fauci. Maybe I can get into Joseph of Arimathea. I give you one piece of info on him off the top of my head right now. I'll write it down when we're done then. Here's the thing. You remember that picture? I'm sure a lot of you have seen that picture, painting or whatever it is. I don't know. Where you see a man and his wife, and he's pointing like this. I can't. I'm having a hard time with the camera here, or something. And people are saying, "Hey, that's Joseph and Mary," as in, Joseph and Miriam, the stepfather of Yeshua, and Miriam, the mother of Yeshua. That's not. That's Joseph. And they're saying that the son is Yeshua. That's not really what it is. That's Joseph of Arimathea and his wife looking at their son going, conquer. Hey, divide and conquer. That's what he's doing. That picture gets misinterpreted all the time. So I gave you a little piece of info there. I don't. Maybe you already knew that. So, yeah, I know he was. He was put in an unused tomb, and I'll give you a little part on that. The way they were buried back then is they weren't literally put in the ground yet. They were put in a tomb area, like of a rock place. They put the corpse on top of a platform, and their way of embalming back then is they would do an inch thick of that protection formula that they had, inch to an inch and a half, whatever. And they would leave it for, depending on the corpse, for 12 to 18 months, however long it took for that body to basically to naturally break down to where it was just to the bones. Then, after a year to a year and a half, when that was done, they would take their bones, wash them up really well, and they'd put them in an ossuary, okay, which is a small coffin, and then they would bury it. Of course, that didn't happen to you. What they meant by a new tomb is, because those tombs were used on a regular basis every couple of years or whatever. That had never been used before they put Yeshua in there. So more than likely, when Yeshua rose from the dead, 3 days, 3 nights later, they put him, or they used that tomb later. It's not like you're going to get a used casket, for crying out loud. A lot of Americans don't know this, and a lot of Christians. So that being said, I'm giving a little info here. I've been on here over 70 minutes now. Are there any questions now, or I can write this down, I suppose. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Let me look at the question again. Well, yeah, you had money and power, no doubt about it. Oh, the genealogy. Genealogy of Joseph of Arimathea. All right, I got it. I don't promise you when I'll get to it, though. I really can't do that for you, Wilfred. I'm like I said, I'm out in the middle of the woods, and I'm busy, and I'm doing other work on the Zionists and whatever, and some of my Jewish higher up, not the regular Orthodox, pew warmers on Shabbat, but I mean the high up, wealthy, elite people who have a lot of money and power. I'm doing that, and some of the politicians, whether they're Gentile or whatever they are. Okay, I'll look at them, Deb. As long as we stay online here, well, that thunder's coming. Well, I don't know what questions you're talking about then, Deb. I really don't. I mean, I already wrote down what Wilfred Witzke. Oh, you're talking to Ashley? Well, make it clear to me then, if you're going to holler at me like that. Okay, because when you holler things at me, I figure you're addressing me, not Ashley. Okay. Okay. I guess I really don't have anything more. We've been on over 73 minutes. Get out of there. What the heck? Okay. Selling, Selling, Deb. I'm sure you aren't going to use it to sail on a boat. But if there isn't any questions, I guess, or more. Huh? Well, look. Right. I know. I'm just giving you a hard time, babe. All right? I'm just giving my baby a hard time. Yeah. Now it's raining again. It stopped for a little bit. Now it's really coming. I really wish this rain would slow down. I really do. Sell stuff, not sale stuff. I'm going to get slapped here. Anyway, how about Okay, folks, I don't know what else to say. My wife is well, Mike and Ashley have our number, Deb. They know what our number is. They should. Since you guys, I don't know, unless you want. Okay. Good. She's seen it, right? Okay. We'll give her and Mike a call after I close down. All right. Please don't do that. I've done it before too, and then I try to get rid of it as fast as I can. But I've talked to Mike, I don't know how many times over the years on the phone. Look, folks, I don't know what else to say. So, I think I've talked more than enough. And we are through the entire Torah. Praise be to God. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe out there. Keep your guards up. Keep your heads on your swivels. All right? Live for God. Like every day is your last. All right. Peace, shalom. The Levite man, he is out of here. Until next time. Peace.